nurse today. Can I see your wristband, please? Thank you. And can you verify your name, date of birth, and if you have any known allergies?
Caitlin Luna, August 22nd, 2000, and penicillin.
Penicillin, okay. So if you don't mind, I'm going to do a quick cardiac assessment on you and listen to your heart sounds. Okay, I'm going to start with your aortic valve on the second intercostal space on the right sternal border. There is no murmurs or it's a regular rate and rhythm for your aortic valve. Now I'm going to move to your pulmonic valve on the second intercostal space, left sternal border. And there is a regular rate and rhythm for your pulmonic valve. And now I'm going to move down to the third intercostal space, left sternal border for your Erb's point. Erb's point has regular rate and rhythm, and now I'm going to move down to your tricuspid valve, fourth intercostal space, left sternal border. Tricuspid valve has a regular rate and rhythm, and now I'm going to move down to the fifth intercostal space, mid-left clavicular line, to listen for your mitral valve, which is where your apical pulse will be. And thank you. Mitral valve has a regular rate and rhythm. I can hear your S1 at the apex and your S2 heart sounds at the base. So everything sounds really good. I did not hear any murmurs. And if you don't mind, I'm going to listen to the valves again with the bell of my stethoscope. Okay, I'm going to first listen to your aortic valve, second intercostal space, right sternal border. There is no murmurs, rubs, clicks, or gallops at your aortic valve. Now I'm going to listen to your pulmonic valve on the left, the second intercostal space, left sternal border. Great. No murmurs, rubs, clicks, or gallops noted on the pulmonic valve. Now I'm going to move down to Erb's point on the third intercostal space, left sternal border. There is no murmurs, rubs, clicks, or gallops noted at Erb's point. Now I'm going to move down to the tricuspid valve on the fourth intercostal space, left sternal border. There are no murmurs, rubs, clicks, or gallops noted on the tricuspid valve. Now I'm going to listen to your mitral valve on the fifth intercostal space, left mid-clavicular line for your apical pulse. Perfect. At the apical pulse mitral valve, there are no murmurs, rubs, clicks, or gallops noted. Very good. Now, if you don't mind, I am going to assess for any thrills that you might have. There are no palpable, visible, or audible thrills noted to the patient at this time. So, Ms. Caitlin, right now I'm going to examine you for jugular vein distension. If you don't mind turning your head this way a little bit. Okay, and back this way. Perfect. There is no jugular vein distension noted on either side of the neck. So now I am going to palpate your carotid arteries. There are 2+ bilateral carotid artery pulses noted. And now, if you don't mind, I'm going to raise the bed up and look for jugular vein distension again. Okay, so now, if you will turn your head this way and back this way for me. And there continues to be no sign of jugular vein distension. So now I'm going to assess your carotid arteries for any bruise. And I'm going to do this with the bell side of my stethoscope. Okay, you'll turn your head this way for me. Okay, perfect. There are no bruise noted on either side of the carotid artery. So, Ms. Caitlin, now I am going to assess your peripheral pulses, and first I'm going to start with the temporal pulse. There are 2+ pulses bilaterally noted to the temporal site, and Ms. Caitlin, now I'm going to assess your brachial pulses. Two plus bilateral brachial pulses. Now I'm going to assess for radial and ulnar pulses. 2+ radial pulses. And 2+ bilateral ulnar pulses. Thank you. So now, Ms. Caitlin, I'm going to assess for your femoral artery pulse. So if you don't mind, put your leg up like that. Perfect. Left leg with 2+ pulses for femoral artery. And right leg, 2+ pulses for femoral artery. Okay, thank you. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna flip you to your stomach and let the bed go down. And I'm gonna assess for your popliteal pulses. Thank you, ma'am. And if you could just relax this leg for me. Perfect. And relax this leg for me. Two plus bilateral pulses for the popliteal artery. Thank you, Caitlin. You can flip back over for me. And okay, so now I am going to assess your peripheral pulses on your lower extremities. So I'm going to pull this up. And the patient is noted to have even hair distribution bilaterally on lower extremities. Her skin is warm to touch and it is a pale pink color. And now I'm going to assess for your pulses down here. So I'm going to start with the posterior tibial pulse. Posterior tibial pulse is 2+ bilaterally. Now I'm going to assess for pedis pulse. Two plus bilateral pedis pulses noted to the patient's lower extremities. And now I'm going to assess for a capillary refill. Okay, if you could just hand me your hand. Patient has less than 2 second capillary refill, and if you could do this with me really quick. And there are no signs of clubbing. Okay, so now I'm going to assess for pitting edema and there is no signs of pitting edema bilaterally. And I think this concludes our physical exam. Thank you, Caitlin.